welcome to another edition of Coastline. And if you've had the opportunity to travel on Highway 170 over the last several months, you've seen construction in the general Okatie area of a major building, and maybe you noticed there's a sign in front of it that says Animal Building, and we're going to find out what's going on there. I'm joined in the studio tonight by Tallulah Trice, who is the director of Beaufort County Animal Services, and also Franny Gerthofer, who is the executive director of the Hilton Head Humane Association. It's good to have you both with us, along with Mud McGee here. And Mud is just a precious pup, and he's your rescue, correct?
Correct,
Tallulah?
from the shelter.
Okay. Yes, in your capacity as the animal control director, you've been housed over at the building just north of the Marine Corps Air Station for a number of years. Gosh, I've been here off and on since 1983, and I think that building was here when I got here. And now you've got this wonderful new building that's under construction, anticipated to be constructed by the end of the year, beginning of 2019 perhaps. Tell me what all that's going to be doing and how your combined efforts with the Hilton Head Humane Association over the last several years have led to this epic point.
Yeah, well, where we are now is sort of out of sight, out of mind. And so now we'll be centrally located where it's more accessible, to the county, because we serve both north and south. So this is the centrally located, plus it's a beautiful property. You couldn't beat it. 90 acres, rural critical, that hopefully will turn to a passive park for people and their pets. So again,
so in addition to being able to pick up a pet that may need a new home, folks can bring their pets over and just kind of walk the area? Yes,
we're looking forward to the future plan for that park. And then with Hilton Head Humane, with our partnership, spay and neutering is the key to reducing overpopulation, euthanasia, cost, everything. And so we wanted to bring their facility to, the county, because it is in Ridgeland right now. Okay, so your particular branch of business, if you will, has been to provide, among other things, a low-cost spay and neuter clinic. And I recall getting notifications that in years past it was held at different vets' offices, different locations, and then now it's kind of relocated to Ridgeland, which again is not very convenient for the majority of people on Hilton Head or even Beaufort.
Correct.
And you'll be housed in the same building as well now?
Yes, the campus actually will have 3 buildings. So along with Animal Services, it'll be the low-cost spay and neuter clinic that will move from Ridgeland to the new campus, and then we'll have a second adoption site there. So Hilton Head's adoption site on Hilton Head will stay, and so Building 2 will be on the new animal campus. But we will close the clinic in Ridgeland and move that to the new site.
I stand corrected. I said before the program that I used to get these notifications about different locations. What I was actually referring to, now that I think about it, was the vaccination programs that are held at different areas. Will this now also take place, a low-cost vaccination for rabies and the like at this same building?
And we do that now, and we will continue to do that, but the low-cost clinics for rabies vaccines will probably still happen. They do that twice a year just as a service to Beaufort County, so I don't see that going away, but hopefully the new campus will make it very convenient for people to come and get what they need done.
Well, it makes sense to have it in Okatie since it is so centrally located and so much traffic passes by there. Do we have a big pet overpopulation problem in Beaufort County?
I think that we do. I think more about as Tallulah mentioned. The key to everything is this to spay and neuter, and so we have to make it more convenient, more affordable, and also we wanted to mention that we do it at no cost as well, because we're really dedicated to solving the overpopulation. It's just that there are babies being born all the time. They could be to feral cats or to people who can't afford a veterinarian. So, we're trying to reach out to those folks to help them as best that we can. And so yes, it is a problem, because then what do you do with the babies once they're born? And that's why the shelters are so overcrowded, especially Tallulah. We've been able to pull animals from her. as we mentioned, they go into her, and then they go to our clinic out in Ridgeland, and then from Ridgeland they travel to Hilton Head. So we're looking so forward to this new campus because it'll be 3 buildings right beside each other, much more convenient.
So both of you have been able to house animals in the past at your respective locations.
Correct.
For adoption purposes. And just to give me an idea, I know you've got the wonderful low-cost, no-cost spay-neuter program, but if somebody wants to go ahead and adopt, is there a fee associated with that?
For us, there is. It's a $100 application fee, and it covers everything. They're fully vetted, microchipped, and obviously altered. Everybody's altered before they leave the campus.
Is the animal vetted, or is the person that's adopting them?
We're just doing animals right now.
Okay, because vetting has a couple of different definitions, and so you go ahead and give them a complete physical inspection.
Correct.
You go ahead and neuter or spay them and microchip them as well, and so that's definitely if you went to
it's a bargain.
Yeah.
When most are heartworm positive in our county because of mosquitoes, and that costs hundreds of dollars for Hilton Head Humane to treat, and they have to stay for a very long extended period of time while they're getting treatment.
Right, so you handle that as well, because I know at my house, we've been very careful to make sure our dogs are on their heartworm preventative medication every month.
It's key.
Because the last thing you want to do is, if you've ever been into a vet's office, you've seen the heart that's sitting there in a jar of formaldehyde with all these horrific spaghetti-looking things around it, and that doesn't take long to take place in the heart. And of course, the consequences are just horrid in terms of the dogs being unable to breathe comfortably. And
the treatment is rough. So, if people would see an animal go through the shots and be with us when we have to, be with them in the first 3 days after the shots, they would change their mind about making sure to do preventative every month, because they do suffer through that treatment. And as Tallulah mentioned, it is expensive, and it does tie up intake because we have to hold them for at least 2 months. So we have a whole building on our campus dedicated to heartworm positive dogs, and it's always full.
Yeah. Now, right now, are both of your facilities pretty full as far as adoptive animals?
Yes, and we send people to Hilton Head to adopt because we intake all the animals. So we make sure, public safety is our first and foremost priority. So we make sure that the animal is adoptable behavior-wise. And then we send it through their spay-neuter clinic, and then it's sent to Hilton Head. So we encourage people to go to Hilton Head to adopt, because then it frees up more space. So we continue to move animals that way.
Now, this facility is really spectacular, just looking at what I'm seeing, and I think you jokingly mentioned that if I offered $10 million to you, I could have it named after myself.
Yes.
But really, how much is this building costing? And, tell me a little bit about how this all came about as far as your partnership goes as well.
Well, we met about 7 years ago now, and just by trying to help transport animals to other organizations outside the county to assist in the overpopulation. So Tallulah and I started working way back when. And then, I just think that, once you have sort of like minds and people want to get the job done and are not, and work around the clock, we just seem like we meshed. So we just decided to add more to our plate and see if we could get more done. And so that just evolved, and then and it continued to evolve. And then we saw the euthanasia rate at Beaufort County drop because of the partnership. So then it gets you more excited, and then more people chimed in with supporting our efforts as a public-private partnership, and that animal shelters could work so cohesively together. So that all of that positiveness added to the enthusiasm of trying to do something bigger and better for Beaufort County. And then we gained support with all of our donors and with County Council, and with a lot of, obviously, the residents of Beaufort County. And so then, of course, the animal campus started to be more of a something that could actually happen, as opposed to just a dream of maybe someday.
So is there financial support on both of yours parts, that both the county's offering some money and you're bringing some money to the table as well?
We are.
Okay, that really is a unique opportunity, and you've actually kind of penciled in all of this stuff for a period of time, right?
So it has been a work in progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely didn't happen overnight. I think that's important for people to realize that we hit a lot of bumps along the road, not together, but just it takes a lot to get something like this done. And we did meet up with some opposition, so we had to do a lot more convincing and proof of what we knew we could do, and we also made a lot of promises that we were able to fulfill. Though we said we would, and we could, and we did.
I've been kind of tracking the progress of things
Right.
especially since Tallulah's come on board just over the last few years.
Right.
And I mean, really, I don't mean to inflate your ego or anything, Tallulah, but before you came on, the position was kind of referred to as dog catcher, and you've really gone all out, and there have been situations where, whether it's on Defusky or St. Helena Island, there have been situations with overpopulation of animals at a particular residence, and you've had to go in and bring law enforcement with you to take care of things, but you managed to get, all of these animals that were in horrid conditions brought back into adoptable in an adoptable situation. So the fact that you're both working together on this is just really to be commended.
And I'm really glad you said that, because she's made all the difference for Beaufort County, most definitely. And I think that she deserves that type of credit and recognition, and also that, the opposition that we hit was trying to do this was very unfair, especially towards her. So I think that this is really proof that she stayed mostly true to the course, and look what's happening now. So she denied all the opposition, and here we are. So, I mean, Beaufort County should be very proud of Tallulah for sure.
Well, Tallulah is, very strong.
Well, but we couldn't do it without Hilton Head.
Yeah, well, that's what a partnership is,
exactly.
And those are the types of things you would like to see, is where, the sum is greater than the components. So, and you guys are doing a terrific job. Wish we had more time. Tallulah, we're going to have you back next month to talk about crisis situations, whether it's, hurricanes, flooding, whatever, situations that I described in Hilton Head, or St. Helena Island. So stick around. But Franny, thank you so much for all that you're doing down there at the Hilton Head Humane Association. Stay with us. But first, we're going to break.
All domestic animals in Beaufort County over 3 months of age must be licensed. This requires a rabies vaccination and a fee of $5 for 1 year or $15 for 3 years. Failure to license your pet is against the law. Avoid fines and penalties.
A message from Beaufort County Animal Shelter and Control. The shelter is always happy to accept donations of old blankets, towels, or pet toys.
It's been said the only constant is change, and that's why here at Coastline we want to make you aware of the changes that take place in Beaufort County and the cities within the county. We hope you'll join us at various times throughout the month to see Coastline and the guests that we bring that will tell you what is going on that is going to affect you day to day. That's Coastline here on the County Channel.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see this movie. I hope it's better than the book.
Yeah, I can't believe it's finally showing here. It probably won't be as good as the book.
You actually read the book?
Well, no, but I heard about it. Still, it probably won't be as good.
The body like soft served down in the June sun. I tried to shoot a thought, but the thought sunk. Nothing to do but scratch.
Morning, Deputy Cook, Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. Reason I stopped you, you threw out a bag of garbage out of your window. You have license, registration, and proof of insurance.
Okay.
What's the water roll down now? Day on done, 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 day on.
Since 2007, the County Channel has brought meetings, entertainment, and events to Beaufort County. Now the County Channel has a new way of informing you of happenings in our community. County Channel Radio, bringing you all the favorites of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, plus the information you need to know. To listen, go to bcgov.net and click on the County Channel Radio logo. County Channel Radio, your source for information in Beaufort County.
Now we're going to take it over to Scott. He is at the Hilton Head Airport with John Rembold.
Thanks, Rick, and welcome back to Coastline. We've changed. We've come out of the studios. We're at the Hilton Head Island Airport with John Rimbaud, who's the director of Hilton Head Island Airports. And John, a lot has changed. When I first came to the island, I came off the airplane. They threw my bags out on the concrete. The departure lounge was a couple of Coke machines on the other side of the terminal. So a lot going on here. Jet service coming in. We got air stairs being unloaded. What's happening?
Well, like you said, a lot's going on. We're at the final push for the runway extension. In fact, we just laid the last little bit of asphalt today on the taxiway to serve that runway, but it's all done. So we are ready to welcome in the first commercial jet service as they transition out of turboprops just on in the next few days on July the 5th.
And so what does that mean for the actual airport and the person that would be flying in or out of Hilton Head?
Well, it fulfills one of our missions, which is really to make sure that we provide, as the airport, as many travel options, flight options for the citizens, and it'll be a much more reliable service with the much newer aircraft and more reliable aircraft.
Now, what changes have you made? I know there's some things going on with the runway, there's some things going on behind us here. What are all the changes that had to occur?
Over the last probably 3.5 years, there's been a lot of changes, from things as simple as removing some trees from the edges of the airport, to extending the runway, and even to capping both ends of the runway, so to speak, with the EMOS system, which is the Engineered Material Arresting System, which, if we have an overrun, that is the safety area now for the airplanes.
So now, how does EMOS work? I mean, for folks, we've got some video that we'll roll and show how it's actually working, but what is the concept of it?
Well, the concept, the best comparison I can give is if you're driving in the mountains on the highways and you see the truck runway ramps, it's kind of the same idea for aircraft, but it's real lightweight, crushable concrete blocks, and it's almost like if you were to run into some ice and kind of break through the ice, but then there's a kind of a powdery concrete surface in there that slows the airplane down without injuring the folks inside the airplane. So it's an amazing safety system.
That is great, and we were talking a few minutes before we came on the air about it actually doesn't, for the most part, damage the airplane.
No, it really doesn't. The landing gear is the only part of the airplane that goes into the bed, and for the most part, if you can clean that off, get it inspected, the airplane is usually good to go.
Now, how about the runway? The EMOS is fairly easily repairable?
Well, I don't know if I'd say easily. The nice thing is that it's modular, it's installed in blocks, so you don't have to replace the whole bed if you do get a capture. You just replace the damaged pieces, so at least you don't have to pay for a whole new system.
Gotcha. Now, as far as changes to the actual terminals and stuff, these planes now carry more passengers than the previous airplanes and such. So what else going on as far as security and departure and such like that?
Sure. Well, the capacity of the aircraft has gone up from a maximum of about 48 or 50 seats on the old Dash 8s to this airplane will have 76 seats, including first class, which is a nice change for Hilton Head. But inside the terminal, there haven't been a whole lot of structural changes. The building envelope is the same, but all of the ticket counters are upgraded. We've got new equipment for TSA to screen the bags, which will speed things up for the passengers. And then we've rearranged the hold room as well to make a little bit more room in the space that we have. So it'll be a little bit of a freshening up inside, just in anticipation of a future big project with the terminal.
So for those who haven't flown out in a while, what are some of the things you got to look at with TSA? What are things that you should do to prepare yourself so you're not held up at the line?
Sure, and that's one thing that has changed but not changed. We still just have one TSA line, and we'll have basically double the amount of people going through. So obviously, to the traveler, you always want to plan ahead, but it is Hilton Head and people tend to be a little bit relaxed, so we want to encourage folks, always get to the airport early. Better be early than late, and that way you can make sure you get through the security line on time, because it is still, it'll need some upgrades in the next couple of years, but always get here a couple hours early.
Now, how many flights are running in and out of Hilton Head now?
We'll have 3 commercial flights daily right now, which is same thing we have with the Dash 8s, but it'll be more seats. So we'll have more folks going through the airport. And then we're hoping that as service, continues and American gets comfortable with the jet service between here and Charlotte, then maybe that number will increase.
Gotcha. Now, as far as jet service versus the prop planes, noise levels and such like that? What should we expect?
Well, without doing a formal noise study and looking at the decibel levels, I think you can expect maybe a little bit noisier takeoff with the jet engines, but a quieter landing because the jets kind of glide into the airport. So a little bit of give and take, but the beauty of jet service is jets are up and out of the airport so quickly that it's a short little blast of noise and then they're out.
That's awesome. Now, as far as I see what's going on behind us here, we've got, what is this that's being delivered right now?
Well, this is something that the airline brought in to service the new airplanes, and it's a new set of a ramp basically, so the passengers can get up and down from the airplane. It's going to sit a little bit higher than the old propeller airplanes did, so it'll be a new experience.
Now, what's in the future for the Hilton Head Island Airport? What do we got on the horizon to look forward to?
Well, like I mentioned, on the horizon, we're going to have to do something with the terminal because we really have high hopes for increased service here. We have been talking to other airlines. It's one of our jobs is to continue to recruit more service. So we're doing that. And we think as that comes around, we are going to need more room in the terminal. So eventually, I hope within just a couple of years, we'll have a large-scale terminal project. And then obviously the ramp area out here where the airplanes park is going to have to be kind of revamped and increased in size. We've got larger aircraft and hopefully more than one on the ground at one time.
That's cool. Now, as far as the flights leaving Hilton Head, where can you go from Hilton Head?
Well, currently you'd go from here directly to Charlotte, but like we like to say in the airport business, you can pave a mile of road and it'll get you a mile. You can pave a mile of runway to get you anywhere in the world. So when you go from here to Charlotte, you can then go from Charlotte to anywhere else.
Cool. So again, what else is on the horizon? What would you like to see in the next 5 years, say?
Well, as the airport director responsible for the business of the airport, we want to see increased service. Not only on the commercial side, but on the private side across the way. We've got a few jets sitting over there now, but a longer runway and clear approaches give our private folks more options for travel as well, meaning that we can now reach out from Hilton Head to places farther away for business purposes. So a lot of folks who want to live here and operate out of here can reach out a little bit farther.
All right, well, let's put on the promotional hat for a second. There's other airports in the area. Why Hilton Head?
Well, you're right here at Hilton Head. So if you're flying into a resort at Hilton Head, if this is where your vacation's going to be, why fly somewhere else and then drive an hour or 2 hours to get to Hilton Head? If you got a wife and children and you're ready to go on vacation, you want to get out of the airplane to be within 10 to 15 minutes of your final destination. Well, we offer that right here. So this is your hometown airport in a tourism mecca.
And I've noticed, yeah, it gets busy, but other airports are a lot busier. So this
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, in most airports, you couldn't stand out here on the ramp and do an interview.
That is
and
true.
Eventually, we won't be able to do that here. But we're still a hometown airport, and we're not going to lose that feel. It's full of friendly people, ready to help folks, and we're just looking forward to have more people coming through the doors.
Cool. Well, this is a great project. Old terminology, how is it doing as far as time and budget and such like that? How did it do?
It's doing great. Like I said, we got the last little bit of asphalt installed, so we're good. We're a few days ahead of schedule maybe at this point for this phase to have the runway open. There's more work to complete the project, but as far as milestones go, we are currently on schedule and we're on budget, which is something the FAA watches, of course, but we can say we're there.
Excellent. Well, that's about it. That's about all we have time for. As far as next time on Coastline, we'll be talking about emergency preparedness, talking about what's going on as we get into hurricane season, natural disasters. There's always earthquakes in the area. So join us next month right here on Coastline. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
The County Channel is also available on video on demand. Go to bcgov.net, click on the County Channel logo, and select your program from the list.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
If you would like a DVD of this program, click DVD order form from the County Channel main page and fill out an order form.
I'm from South Carolina, and my vote counts.
I'm a South Carolinian.
The Palmetto State.
And my vote counts.
Every vote matters, every vote counts. My vote counts.
This year, thousands of South Carolinians will vote using the newest, most advanced voting technology in the world. Every vote matters, and every vote counts.
I'm a South Carolinian, and my vote counts.
That these cats want to be loved. They are, they've come from different backgrounds. Some have had really rough backgrounds. When they come in, we don't know what their stories are, but when they come in, they're loved on, they're cared for, and that's really what they want.
Fluffy, cute, and cuddly, cats of all ages now live here at the Tabby House, located in the Beaufort Town Center near Kmart.
With the space at the shelter, we're just out, and there's no place to put healthy animals. And so we were trying to just find a satellite location where we could move the healthy animals where people could view them.
I'm going to get that bird. So in December, the Tabby House opened. A donor is paying rent for 1 year. Furniture, cages, food, and toys were donated by the public, and people like Pam Bratz give up their own time to volunteer at the Tabby House, making sure these cats find a new permanent home.
We can help match the family that comes in, listen to what they want, listen to what their household is like, and as we get to know the cats here, it allows us to help match them.
If there's somebody that has a dog, we can actually take the cat to the shelter, and we call it a cat scan, and see if they get along.
And what's even better, the fee of $50 it takes to adopt one of these furry felines includes the animal being spayed or neutered, all of their shots, including rabies and feline leukemia, and a microchip. So if the cat is ever lost, it can be tracked back to his or her family.
We're their eyes and ears. We can be a part of who takes them home to know that they're going to get a good home. So for us, that's important, that we can see them get a home, that we can help choose the family that takes them home.
It's a win-win situation for the Beaufort County Animal Shelter and for the families out there who want a new cat or kitten to love. Joy Nelson for the County Channel.